Good evening. Welcome, everybody. We'll start with the call to order and roll call.
Weedman.
Aye.
Mack.
Here.
Braden. Aye. Mackey.
Aye.
Miller. Aye. Here. Strack.
Here.
Okay. That gives us our quorum. The next is the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, next is I need an approval for the agenda.
So moved?
Second.
Miller. Aye. Strack.
Aye.
Mack.
Aye.
Weedman.
Aye.
Braden. Aye. Mackey.
Aye. Okay. Can the public comment sheet there, please? Okay, so next is our public comment section. Nancy? Sorry, can you grab a microphone? Yes, please.
Hello. Thank you very much. Good evening. My name is Matthew LaPierre. I am the staff representative from Lake County Federation of Teachers Local 504, speaking on behalf of our approximately 500 members who work in District 46 as teachers, related educational professionals, paraprofessionals, and facilities services staff. We are here tonight to express our frustration and disappointment with the current negotiations between District 46 and our union members. Frustration because we believe what our members are seeking in terms of compensation for their hard work is comparable to surrounding districts, well within the financial means of the district to provide, would not require additional tax burden to the citizens of the district, and is geared to retaining our top-notch talent and continuing to attract and recruit new high-quality instructional and non-instructional employees. Disappointed because many of our members are also residents of this school district. They know that a quality school district increases property values and becomes a destination for families looking to provide a good education for their children. Disappointed because we are committed to the future of our students and the future of our community. Disappointed because our district board doesn't appear to understand this. They appear to be happy with paying below average salaries, or they have some inexplicable ideological need to pick a fight. Well, we're not here to fight. We are here to provide reasonable wage increases that are very similar to the surrounding Lake County districts, and we believe the residents of District 46 want the same thing. Although we're not here to fight, we don't shy away from it, because when we fight, we win. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your comments and your input. We've been discussing all the same things pretty much all along as we go here, and we'll continue to work with you, and hopefully we come up with a resolution soon. Next is board reports. Anybody? Okay, so, go ahead.
So Stephen and I met about community engagement and basically are just throwing ideas around. So there's nothing formal to, I think, report back just yet, but we have been talking and probably will have something by the next meeting in the board report to share with you in paper. And we'll send out. I also attended the Greenest Region Compact meeting earlier this month that the village put on, and wanted to just share that I took a look at their sustainability plan And there seems to be some overlap with food, where we might have an opportunity to collaborate with the village. They have an initiative to compost food from local businesses, and we have a lot of food in our buildings on all 7. So just an FYI, nothing to do about that, but something that we could talk about at some point if we come up with a sustainability plan.
Anybody else? Okay, Dr. Glickman and I went down to Normal to present the board resolution to the IAS, or ISB, for the resolution regarding the testing process and getting the scores back and timeliness and the appropriateness of the data that came back. It was an interesting process, to say the least. I don't know if we were quite prepared for the information that they told us that we had to give, but we did get through it. We did give all our information, and they voted to reaffirm or affirm our position as far as that resolution goes. So we should see that to be voted on in November at the III. So it was interesting, to say the least. That's all I have. Yep. And next would be superintendent report. Up to you.
I have a bunch. Because we haven't been together for about a month. All right, so on August 5th, our district hosted our annual crisis plan review meeting. This was organized by GMS principal and also safety coordinator Marcus Smith, and it was very well attended by our building administrators and also our first responders. We had a lot of open conversation about our safety practices, and we're really grateful to our first responders for sharing their knowledge with us. I also want to share information regarding 2 opportunities for our district to extend our knowledge and understanding of equity topics. So first of all, on July 24th and 25th, I was fortunate to be a part of a cross-district training experience with a variety of other administrators around Lake County. This training was called Beyond Diversity Training. It focused on recognizing the racism that is so prevalent in our society. 2 administrators, Director of People Services, Heather Lorenzo, and also our new GMS Assistant Principal, Erin Gross, were able to join me for the training. And I have a meeting coming up with some of the other superintendents who were present so that we can talk about how we can extend our learning throughout the districts that we serve regarding this information. Also, administrators and board members in our district have been invited to join other Lake County districts for equity training, which will occur at Stevenson High School on Tuesday, September 10th. We just got this information. There's a day-long training, and I'll be participating in that day-long training along potentially with at least one other administrator. And then there's board training from 5 to 7 that evening at Stevenson High School. And so I'm hopeful that as many board members as possible will be able to join me for that, and please let me know in the next, I would say, week and a half if you're able to come, because I need to get us registered. Central registration, speaking of registration, was last week. Was it only last week? Yes. We've received wonderful feedback on that registration from actually many of you and from many of our parents. Many of our parents are sitting out here and commented how well it went. Just great thanks to Sue for organizing it, and many of our secretarial staff, also many sitting out in this audience, who really gave enormous amount of time to making sure that our families had what we would call customer service experiences. People really commented that they were beginning the year in a positive way, and that was thanks to so many people in this room. As you know, school starts a week from tomorrow. Students are excited, staff is excited. We will start next Monday with a 3-day institute experience. Everyone together on Monday morning. I know Mr. Weedman will be with us that morning to welcome our staff. Other board members, if you can let me know as well, that if you'll be able to be there, that would be wonderful. We'd like to save you a space in the front. And then there'll be many other staff development opportunities for staff on Tuesday and Wednesday of that week. And in preparation for all of that, we've had new staff in service for the past 2 days. I'm going to ask Mr. Lewis to speak about that.
So the last 2 days, Amanda Woodruff and I have been the hosts of 38 new staff members, and they've had 2 days of a lot of learning and a lot of history of the district, expectations. We also had other administrators participating. We also had many mentors come and work with the new staff. So we're always appreciative. They're always glad to have that person to help them make the transition. We also had our instructional coaches do some presentations today specifically about some of our board and district initiatives about instruction. The feedback was good, very good. The difficulty is it's a lot to take in 2 days. So we've been looking at things we need to cut, things we need to add, how to use the best use of the time. We had a delicious lunch yesterday before the teachers went with their mentors back to their buildings. So we had 38. We're in the process still of 3 more, so it looks like we'll end up with 41 new staff members this year.
And last but not least, just very recently, we received notice from the state that we have what is called EBM funds. Board, you will remember that these are funds that the state is giving us because we're not a fully funded school district. Just like last year, we are in Tier 2, although I will note that they put us at a 64% fully funded school district, and the cutoff for Tier 2 is actually 65%. So, Tier 1, that's what I said. Tier 1, that's what I said. Tier 1, but the cutoff is 65%. So we have every reason to think that next year we'll be back at Tier 2. And so our funding for the upcoming year of new money is approximately $943,822. We did have a very preliminary conversation as a cabinet team just to start looking at what we might do with that funding. It's really important as I share some of this information that everybody understands this was a round 1 conversation. The talk we had, the list that we generated far exceeds that funding, and we would need to gather many, many, many more people, including Board of Education members and staff members, to make decisions about what we would be doing with the funding. But just so that you have an idea of what we're talking about, it's important and really a moral imperative that we use the money as it was intended. The law is what we'd consider a social justice law. It's a way of making sure that students across the state all have opportunities to learn and to grow. And so that's what we're expected to use the money for. Here are some of the opportunities that we considered important for us in order to fulfill what are called the 27 elements, which are the things that the state understands are evidence-based ways for students to be supported. So we talked about additional instructional coaches in a variety of areas. That's one of the elements that has what's considered a very high effect size, which means that there's evidence that really supports student learning. We talked about math interventionists and a bilingual Tier 2 and Tier 3 interventionist. We talked about expanded core and other special learning for students. We talked about how we support our gifted and talented students, because that's one of the core areas, one of the elements, and that we don't currently have a formalized program for students. We also talked about instructional materials, literacy materials, MTSS materials, library materials. So again, right there, that's way more than we have money for, and much more to come on all of that. And that closes out my superintendent report.
We don't have any committee reports for tonight. You'll see the policies obviously coming up on the action items. So looking for approval of the consent agenda with the addition of the personnel addendum to the personnel report.
I'll move. Second.
Braden. Aye. Mackey. Strack.
Aye.
Miller. Aye. Mack.
Aye.
Weedman.
Aye. Next is item J, it was action items. It is our second look and motion to approve the board policies that are listed. There's quite a few of them. The updates to all of these policies, as discussed before, were all just the legal jargon and the legal references to it. There's a couple where we changed chief financial officer to CSBO. So they're just minor corrections. There's no big policy shift in any of them. So looking for a motion to approve those?
Can I just ask you a question?
Sure.
Some of the language on 6135 and 750 was changed. I think it's grammatically incorrect, so I'm curious why we're changing it.
Which one? Six one?
And I don't care if it's grammatically, I mean, I'm just saying, is there a reason for it? It's, instead of is her, it's, we've changed it to there, and it's not correct, I don't think.
Yeah, that's actually something that you're going to find happening quite often now in policy and in grammar, frankly, because it supports people who are transgender.
Gotcha, okay, thank you. I figured there was a reason.
Okay,
So moved?
Weedman.
aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Mack.
Aye.
Mackey.
Aye.
Braden.
Aye.
Strack.
Aye.
Okay, next is motion to approve the IRMF audit resolution 6.75. John, if you can elaborate on that, right? That's all you, right?
Absolutely.
If you want to, you can wait a second. Thank you, everyone, for coming. They're walking in front of the camera. I just figured we just. Okay, John. You're good.
So we recently were audited by IMRF, and one of the findings that they had discussed was some changes that had happened at IMRF in relation to what we refer to in the district as flex pay. So that money is given to specific staff members that were hired prior to March 9th, 2007 in relation to insurance benefits. Up until 2000, basically the law went into effect January 1st, 2018 for IMRF to default to not honoring that as part of pensionable benefits. We did not internally make any changes for that, so we continued to report money that was paid as salary, as flex pay to staff members to IMRF as pensionable benefits. So IMRF in the audit gave us one of two options. We could either pass a resolution as a board authorizing us to go ahead and count that as pensionable benefits, or go back and make changes for the last several years for flex pay, reducing the pensionable benefits of the staff members who received that pay. In our opinion as an administration, we felt as this is a benefit that had been given on for quite some time, and this was a change that was made long after some of these contracts were settled and some of the people had retired. We felt it was fair and equitable to continue reporting this as a pensionable benefit for those affected staff members.
And how many more are left with the flex pay?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I want to say 20 or 30
And they're obviously those that have been here for.
since before March 9th, 2007. No new people per the contract can be added onto that plan.
Any comments, discussions? concerns?
Are the 20 or 30 that are on it, they're deep into their careers, I would say? They're not at retirement, but nearing it anyway, probably.
At least
A range, but I would say closer to that end than the front end.
Is this something that's negotiable through contract negotiations? Not this time, obviously, but next time? Not subject to negotiation?
I think there's a provision in the thing about flex pay.
Is there?
About the flex payment, but in terms of whether or not that becomes an IMRF pensionable benefit, I am hesitant to give you an answer without referring to legal counsel. My assumption would be is that it probably could be something that would be negotiable.
Okay. I'm just curious. All right.
Okay, did we have a motion?
Nope, not yet.
I'll make that motion to approve.
Second?
You recommend going to allowing it to be a pensionable contribution, right?
Correct.
So I'm good with that. I'll make a motion to do that.
Okay.
Second.
Braden. Aye. Strack.
Aye?
Miller. Aye. Mack.
Aye.
Weedman.
Aye.
Mackey.
Aye. Okay, moving right along. Let's see, we are on unfinished business, and we are on the update of the facilities timeline, which I have a feeling the guy in the back is going to talk about.
Actually, I'm going to interrupt.
Wow.
So we had the pleasure today of visiting Wold Architects down in Palatine, and when I say we, I refer to Dr. Glickman, myself, and Keith Grinnell. Keith helped Wold focus on areas of concern that we are already aware of, and also helped address some questions they had about areas that we've already made improvements on, and therefore can just give a cursory glance to kind of help focus their research. The architects, area specialists, and engineers are scheduled to come out in September at various different points to different buildings. The tentative plan so far is as they come across anything that they deem urgent, and by urgent I mean anything from summer of 2020 or earlier, we'll have information for the board available in October on those things. We can start making actions on those sooner rather than later, with the plan for a full presentation of the long-range facility plan in January after a thorough review.
Okay. Anybody have any questions, concerns, comments?
Sounds like a plan.
Did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, I think it's gonna go well. I think it's something we need, desperately, just for budgeting purposes.
Is there anything, any hint of anything that we weren't expecting that might be on the list?
I don't think so, not that I foresee. But of course, they're probably a little more thorough going through the building than what I am walking through, but I don't see anything major that we're not already aware of, you know, like roofs or parking lot. So, no, I think we're in pretty good shape. I think it's more getting the numbers honed in, because the other one goes out that far, but the numbers, you know, haven't escalated or anything else, so.
Okay. The next is discussion regarding the letter that to be sent to the village regarding the Harger electric incentives. So you should have gotten a copy and seen a copy of the letter that was drafted by John.
I'm just curious what the intergovernmental meeting is that's mentioned in the last paragraph.
I'll speak to that only because Dr. Glickman wasn't here at that time. So one of the meetings that we had in discussion about Harger Electric involved the fire department, the police department, the park district, the library district, District 127, the village, and ourselves. And we felt it was a very productive meeting and several of the different districts commented their desire that we have future meetings like this to discuss other issues of shared concern. Hopefully not responding to things, but being able to be more proactive and more collaborative in our future efforts.
Kind of being able to give the boards a heads up of what might be coming up down the line so that we weren't, for lack of better terms, blindsided for any one particular topic.
Is that in the works right now? I'm thinking community engagement wise.
It has not been set up yet, but it probably would fall under that whole program.
Yeah.
The superintendent could be English major.
Yes.
Depending on how
apostrophe in its children. End of the third paragraph.
Third paragraph.
I'm sorry to say that on.
So there's two different schools of thought on the grammar on that. And I have come from the school of thought of grammar that it's is only apostrophe. It is apostrophied. I apologize. It should be removed.
We'll just.
I will have it
You
fixed.
want to retract those two school of thought?
I do want to retract it. The way you phrased it, when you phrased it, I thought you said that there wasn't.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm sure it's just a typo, that's fine. Yeah, and I'm sorry to nitpick on.
And just to clarify, the hard copy that you have has a line in, or a few words in italics, because that was a recommended addition already to the letter. So it wouldn't be in italics when it would go.
I think it's fine, yeah.
Looks good?
Yeah,
Okay, so we'll
fix it.
we'll just fix that, the its, and we'll fix the italics,
Fix
and
it.
then you can sign
Dab
and
it with a
send
little
it.
white out. Sure.
Great.
I had a question backing up on the consent agenda. Can we back up? Some of that.
It's a long way back there.
I know it is. I've been waiting.
Gotta speak up.
I was looking at the accounts payable, and I had just a question about the travel expenses for Stephanie. I know she's been doing some work finding us great teachers. I just was curious if we need to think as a board about the teachers that are expats. Is there special stuff? Maybe you can speak to that?
You can come up, please.
Why don't you come closer? You're not the loudest person.
Thank you. Better?
Yes.
So as a very brief history, we are working very hard to find qualified bilingual teachers. And as we are growing and the staff is growing, we're doing everything we can. So I've been working with HR, and I've attended local job fairs. And we are also looking at any program assistants who are qualified to become teachers. So this year we were able to hire 2 of them as bilingual teachers, and last year we were able to hire 1 as well. But with that said, and even with this concerted effort, there's still openings. And that's not new to District 46. It's not new to our state.
No, no.
Okay. To the point
That's what I was doing.
Pardon. To the point that ISBE recognizes that. And in one of the grants to Lip Lips, recruitment is actually a line item, and we are able to go. ISBE has a very nice, over 20-year relationship with the Ministry of Education in Spain. And so this is one of the places that they highly recommend Illinois directors to go and recruit teachers, because when they come, they have a visa for 3 to 5 years. It's 3 guaranteed and 5 if we would like to renew them, if they would like to stay as well. Just like any contracted teacher from Illinois or born here, they have the ability to exit the contract at the end of the year if they would like, but then we also have the ability to say, no, I'm sorry, your evaluation isn't exactly what we were hoping for, and we have that agreement back and forth. The very good thing, though, is that they are completely certified in bilingual and ESL. Most of our teachers have been teaching English, actually, in Spain, and some either go to bilingual classes or some go to ESL. Right now, we have 4 teachers from Spain, 2 this year and 2 from last year. 4. And we have 1 teacher from Puerto Rico. And we find that this is a good asset. Our students are able to learn cultures from different Spanish-speaking countries. Our community, our staff also as well benefit from them. As far as your question as to what do we do to support them once they arrive, we as the district inside the contract through the grant pay for 1 week of a hotel, but then also given a sponsor, but in the non-financial way to say sponsor. So I dedicate lots of time to help them get houses, cars, lots of material donations such as couches, beds, things like that, to get them set up as best as possible. And then they start the process. Does that answer the question?
So it sounds like you've got it all.
So we do have a very significant contract with Ministry of Spain, ISBE, and these are the stipulations that are in there to make sure that when they come over, they know exactly the process, right? Like, I'll pick you up at the airport, we'll take you here, this is what we're going to do, and we'll be figuring it out from there.
So Dr. Diaz takes a lot of that out of her own time and her own responsibility. We have some help from our home school coordinator as well. So, and the entire bilingual team also rallies behind them often. which is really amazing. The two teachers from Spain last year have been communicating and helping the new teachers from Spain, and so that's been really good. But you also have other requirements for the program, so I think those are pretty cool as well, because part of the program is to help them understand American culture as well. So if you want to
Yeah, we have to take at least two field trips to do something that is very much United States or American culture. So one was we go to Chicago and we have a tour and learn about that. And then the other one is a little bit more, we went to Wisconsin and we were able to go to a market and learn about different things that happened there, and just even the name of Wisconsin and that it used to be glaciers and an ocean and all those different things that have happened here. And then our teachers actually also have a cultural project with a school in Spain. And so our students here work with students in Spain, and they either do pen pal or something through tech, or they send things back and forth and they talk about the stamps, or oh, we have a queen and we have a president. How does that work? What are the differences? Things like that. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next is new business. It is this discussion and cost to provide hot breakfast to all the schools.
The only thing I would add to the memo would be, we also had, since we were visiting our architect this morning, we had the chance to discuss with them the possibility of just what would the cost be for them to analyze our food service and come back with a quote for what would it look like to expand our facilities if needed, or make any changes along those lines. They also fortunately have a food service specialist that they're able to contract with that could help make some advice, could provide some advice on some of these other areas, such as the work schedules, the workloads, kitchen layout, staffing needs, et cetera. So we look forward to having them provide us a quote at this point, just for further information for the board.
Any questions for John? Okay.
So actually, I just want to jump in. I'm sorry.
Oh.
So just a little bit more information. Once we have that quote from Wold, we'll come back to you with that quote, and then you can let us know, do you want us to further pursue getting that assessment of what it would cost to upgrade the kitchens in order to be able to provide hot breakfast at the schools.
Okay.
And we will have that quote available at the next board meeting for you.
Okay. All right, we are up to topics for future agenda items already. Is that your list? And you have on your list?
Well, that one.
Okay.
That was it.
That one?
That item, I mean, really, that will have information about the, about what it will cost from Wold in order to be able to identify the I'm not speaking well at all now. We'll try one more time. We will be able to share more information with you about the cost of an assessment of our cafeterias. So we have that. We have some other financial pieces of information.
That lovely time of year. You'll have your first look at the budget to be adopted at the second September meeting, but obviously wanted to give you some time to review it before you had to adopt it at the second September meeting. So I'll be presenting at the next board meeting about the budget.
Okay. We don't have any contracts or anything coming up that aren't going to sneak up on us?
I'm sorry, I thought somebody, anyway. At this point, no. We're still reviewing some of our contract lists and timelines to make sure we have a good calendar. That's a goal that we have in the business office, to have a rolling calendar available.
Okay. Anybody else have anything? All right.
Well, that'll be part of, I mean, I wasn't planning to do a full-out report about the start of the year, but just as part of the superintendent's report, so. You're not used to having that as a line item, are you, on your agenda at the start of the year? Because we can. Okay.
Okay. Right, next we're back to public comments. Yes, Joe. Oh, you can't do that. All right, next we're gonna go into, I need a motion to go into closed sessions according to Open Meetings Act for discussion of personnel and superintendent goals.
Second.
Mackey,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Mack,
Aye.
Strack,
Aye.
Weedman,
Aye.
Braden.
Aye.
Okay, so who had 7:15? May, huh?
Yeah, so that would be,